Good evening and welcome to our live crafting session this evening. Thank you so much for joining me. It's Jenny McCormack here and it is Tuesday the 23rd of May 2023. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are joining us for the first time, whether that's in person on live or on replay, thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions as I'm doing the live crafting, do feel free to pop them in the comments section. And if you are joining us on replay, whether that is on Facebook or on my YouTube channel, then if you have any questions, just pop them also in the comments section. And if it requires a response or an answer, then obviously I will get back to you in due course. Thank you so much for joining us. This is our stamp set of the week. It's called Enjoy the Rhythm, and this is perfect for music lovers in your life, whether it's family or friends. And we have 4 main images. We have some musical notes here, and then we have a guitar, a keyboard or piano, and we have a set of drums. And already I've used this drum image for the card that we created yesterday. And today I'm going to actually use the little guitar and the little piece of music. Just seeing if I've got yesterday's card to hand. And I haven't, but I've got a very similar one. So let me show you that, she says. It's now completely disappeared. It's right in front of me. Does that happen to you, or is it just me? There it is, look. Oh, right in front of me. So this is very similar to the one we did yesterday, and I've stamped the drum kit on one of our die cuts. This is from the Stylish Shapes dies. In this particular one I've used vellum, but on the one yesterday I used some designer paper. That's just patterned paper on a layer of black and then a small sentiment. There are 4 sentiments that come with the set. Treble Maker, which I think is quite a clever play on words. Enjoy the rhythm of each day. We've got a little happy birthday and you rock my world. Today I'm going to add in some other dies, and these are the dies that I'm going to use today, and they are really a really useful set because we have 3 sets of words. So we have happy birthday, celebrate and feel better soon. It's from a set of dies called Wanted to Say, and they come with these words here and then a shadow behind them. You can also use the words on their own, and what I do like about it is this happy birthday is one die, but when these words come out they are separate. Then we've got celebrate and feel better soon, and then we've got some hearts, we've got some stars, got a little flower and a stalk and a little present and a bow. So those are the dies. Really useful set. Obviously you do need a die cutting machine for these. Hi Jeanette, thanks for joining us. But these will all fit in our mini cut and emboss machine, and there's just some very simple dies that cut all of those elements out. So I'm going to include the celebrate in this case, and I've gone for a red, black and white design. I'm going to stamp the guitar. I'm going to cut that down once I've stamped it, but let's just get that in place. And I'm also going to use the music, and what I have in mind is this set of music is quite short, But what I want to do is make it look as if it's going all the way across the background. So I'm going to show you how to achieve that, hopefully. I haven't actually tried it, so I'm hoping this will work. Okay, so we've got this guitar image here. Just going to switch. And I need to find the little index sheet, which is here somewhere on my desk, so that I can put these other elements on it. So this is the guitar, which I called a violin for some bizarre reason yesterday. And I don't know if I'm going to do 1, 2 or 3. So let me have a look. Let's put 1 here to start with. I think I'm going to do 3. Hi Kate, I hope you're well. So just want to pop that one in there, and then another one here. Hopefully close enough together. There we go. Now I'm going to colour these in a minute, and my colour choice for today is Poppy Parade and black, so nice deep red and black. Going to leave those for the moment. And my idea, I'm hoping this is going to work, is I'm going to trim this down and have the music going across. So let me have a look. Let's find the music notes and see what we can do. Now it may be that I only end up with 1, I don't know, we'll see. So I'm going to ink this up. And my plan is to start it on the left hand side and then stamp again on the right hand side to make it look as if it's going right the way across. Now this does have a curve to it. You can see on here it's got a bit of a curve to it. So what I want to do is start this on the left hand side like so. So it starts like that, and then stamp it again on the right hand side. But what I'm going to do is put a panel down the front so that you just see the beginning and the end. At least that's my theory. So if I do these ones first, actually, I think. And I guess actually I could start these at different positions. They don't all have to start the same in the same place. But now I've started it, I'll have to finish. So I'm using our Memento Tuxedo Black, just really because it's sheet music. I'm just going to pop this in here. So I'm not worried about the join up, because obviously you wouldn't have a treble clef in the middle of a piece of music like that. I did do piano at school. But I have to say, I did stop doing piano at school. Okay, so my theory is I'm going to have a strip of card down here, and I'm going to pop these on it so that we've got this narrow channel right the way down. And then I've cut out this Celebrate from this set of dies, and I've cut it out in Poppy Parade, and I've cut the shadow out in the black. So the theory is this is going to go across the bottom here. So it's all about theory at the moment. So what I've done is I've cut this out, but I put a piece of sticky sheet behind, our adhesive sheet, so that this will stick without me needing to use lots of tiny dabs of glue. Makes it a bit cleaner, shall we say. Let me put a lid on that before I start. I'm just going to poke out these centre pieces. So celebrate is a great sentiment because you could use it for anything. It could be anniversary, obviously it could be birthday, it could be celebrating exams, anything like that. So that's going to go onto there. So I hope everybody's had a good day. It doesn't seem right that we're at Tuesday evening already, that's for sure. Okay, so just peeling this off gently. You don't want the letters to stretch too much. Like so. And then I like to put it fairly centrally on my pokey tool. You could just use a pair of scissors, tip of the scissors, and then just take your time to get this centered. And by using the adhesive sheet, you know that you're not going to have glue going everywhere. And in fact, these elements here feature in our class inbox for this month. So happy birthday and celebrate. Okay, let's see how we're doing. So I've got some panels here of the poppy and the black, and what I'm thinking is I want a narrowish panel, and then my guitars are going to go onto there, and then that's going to go onto a black card, onto a white card. That's my plan. Now let's see how narrow I can get this piece here. So I do want it fairly narrow. You could also fussy cut these, of course, these little guitars. And you could also stamp them onto a die cut if you wanted to. Right, let's have a look. So I'm just looking at the size really of this, whether this is going to work. So if I put this on a narrow panel, I think it will. So what I'm going to do is attach this. I'm going to colour this in, attach this, and then cut a really narrow border. And it may be that actually excuse me, that I cut this shorter rather than have the whole piece. Or I could just cut one, who knows. Right, let me just colour this in really quickly and put that together. So we've had great fun with this set at Coffee and Cards. My last session with it tomorrow, and then we'll be using a new stamp set for Coffee and Card on Friday, but I have tomorrow and Thursday with this as my stamp set of the week. So what I'm going to do, so just a very light touch to colour those in. So I'm going to do that way, and then this one I'm going to have the red as the centerpiece. I'm sure there's a name for it. I don't know what it is. I expect somebody will. tell me what it's called. I did play a bit of guitar when I was younger, but I have to say that I wasn't very good at it. My fingers weren't strong enough. Okay. Right, let's put this on here. I did wonder whether to add another colour, but I think I'm going to leave it like that. I might use a light grey just behind those frets. What have I got? I've got light smoky slate. So this stamp set is in the annual catalogue. It was, oh, didn't mean to do that. It was in the spring, I think it was in the January to April catalogue, and then got carried across. Okay, that's all I'm going to do for that. And then what I want to do is have this on a panel in here. So I'm going to attach this onto my red panel. And then trim that down. So just looking at positioning. Like so. Just want a thin border either side. So I'm just going to trim that as is, and then I'll decide whether or not I'm going to cut that down. Okay, so now that these are stuck down, that's just placed on top. So that was what I wanted to create, was that effect of the music. Somebody's going to tell me this is a bass guitar and doesn't have, you wouldn't have a treble clef, but hey ho. And then I've got this word celebrate here. So the question is, do I chop that as well? Problem is, if I chop it, you're going to see this piece, aren't you? So I want to hide my join. So yeah, what I'm going to do is trim the top so that's to the same extent. There we go. Hopefully, yeah. Tiniest of margins. Okay, so that's going to go onto there. This is going to go onto a white card. There we go. So this is going to go on like so. And here. And what I do have is, and I'm surprised they didn't include it in this stamp set, is music notes on its own. Excuse me, and that comes from the Songbirds set. And I'm just wondering whether to pop a couple in there. I also have some little red stars. These are well retired, probably at least a year ago. But I thought they would look nice on there. As is looks good, says Jeanette. Hi Claire. This would be a good one for Erin. Okay, so I've got celebrate there. I could put the music, but I think Jeanette might be right, you know. And I could take that a little bit, just a little bit further up. Not do what I did yesterday, which was then cut it too small. Okay, there we go. Right. So that's that layer. That's going to go on top to cover up that join. So I've got the effect that I wanted, was that it's just going all the way along there. I've got my celebrate to go in there, and then that's all going to go onto a white card. So I think that will do the job. So let's layer these up. So I'll be back again live tomorrow, Wednesday at 10 AM. using another of these, making another card with this set, and I'll be introducing the embossing folder tomorrow. Okay, so that's going to go onto there. I'll just use our nice easy tape runner, and it's got 2.5mm border all the way round, so I know that I've cut it to the right size, so I know that if I've got about 2.5mm there, it will be centered. Got a blade of grass, bizarrely. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this in the center. Could have it to one side. My gut feel is to put it in the middle, like so. And I'm going to keep this flat because I know that this is going to overlap the edges, and I don't really want that sort of sticking out and getting caught. So this is going to go on flat. So this is Poppy Parade, the red that I'm using, and obviously the basic black card. Sort of straight. And pop that on, and I'll just use some wet glue in the centre of this panel. Let's find a glue that's got some in. Going to put a tiny little bit on here so that I can stick it down. I could have put some sticky sheet on the back of this as well, but it's a much bigger area to handle, so I wasn't quite as worried. And let's do that. There we are. And then I've got our little stars that I can pop on here, and we're done. So this could be celebrating an exam, could be celebrating a, ooh, am I going to put this one here? Just somebody that's enjoying their music. There we go. So this could be easily be a birthday card, or it could be, as I say, celebrating an occasion. And so that's it. That's the second in our series using this stamp set. Oops. Enjoy the Rhythm, it's called. As you can see, it's in the annual catalogue, and it is £20 for the stamp set. Yes, it came out in the January catalogue, but it's around for a little while. So I've used Poppy Parade white and black. As I say, these little star embellishments I'm pretty sure have all retired, but comes in handy for our card today. And this is one made earlier, and if you saw my posting on Friday on Facebook, you will have seen all the other fab cards that were made at our Coffee and Card on Friday. So do have a look at that, and I'll be back again tomorrow 10 AM for another in our series using Enjoy the Rhythm, our stamp set of the week, and I hope you're able to join me. Thank you so much. Do take care and have a great evening. I'm sorry about the reflection from the light, and I look forward to crafting with you again really soon. Thank you so much. Thanks Jeanette for your kind comments, and thanks to anybody else who's watching that hasn't said hi. Thank you to Claire as well, and I look forward to crafting with you again soon. Bye for now.